Hello everyone, my name is Blackwatch and welcome to another episode of my Siege lore series, joining you now at 1:30 in the morning. Lovely stuff. And in today's episode we're going to be talking about the fact that 90% of you are not subscribed. So I'm going to point you to this little red rectangle. It's got subscribe on it, it's also got a notification bell next to it. And I think the two of you this month should spend a little bit of time getting acquainted with each other, if you want to do that. And I guarantee something special will happen. You'll see more videos. Imagine that. So, today we're talking about the assassination of Yahata. Now, it's been talked about in a couple of things now. We know that he died, we know how he died. He was killed in the street by armed assailants using weapons provided to them, or at the very least manufactured by QCR, Quantum Concepts and Robotics, which is a division of the Nighthaven PMC, the new big bad guys in the Rainbow Six story. We don't know for sure that Nighthaven actually provided the weapons to these guys or set up the hit, but we have to assume that that's the case because that's what the evidence is pointing to fairly overwhelmingly at the moment, but I'm still willing to be surprised in the future. The other thing is that we know Yahata is clearly at the forefront of Rainbow's investigations into Nighthaven and what they had to do with his assassination. In fact, during Sense's video, we're actually told by Doc at the start of the mission that the reason they're going in is to find out what Nighthaven had to do with Yahata's death. Now, why would he be killed, and what would Nighthaven have to gain from that? Well, it's fairly simple. If we look on Harry's board, which, again, I'll remind you, took place, or was created, after Yahata's death, we can see that there is an article pointing to an increase in the number of cyber attacks on military groups. Now, we have to assume that these military groups are more than likely governmental rather than private groups like Nighthaven, and we have to then look at the fact that Yahata is supposed to be, or was until he got garroted in the middle of the street, the number one guy in cybersecurity in the world, and he had a lot of targets in the criminal underworld pinning him down because he was stopping them from being able to commit various crimes. It would make perfect sense then for Nighthaven to try and destabilize essentially its competition, even though they are national organizations and not private military companies. It would make sense for them to take him out. It removes him and his company from the board. All the destabilization that would be caused by the death of someone at that level is enough to then take his company off the board and make these companies, these military groups more vulnerable to cyber attack. So I have to then assume that Nighthaven have done this so that they can attack these groups. It makes sense to me. Those things correlate perfectly. And it leaves those groups more vulnerable because Nighthaven could have access to intelligence in terms of where they want to focus their efforts, in terms of what they see as their main threats. Could it be that Nighthaven are actually the targets of other organizations and not just Rainbow? And could it also be that Rainbow perhaps use Yahata and his company for their own cybersecurity? All of these things are up in the air. A lot of it is speculation, but that's the most clear-cut reason I can find for Yahata's assassination, is that once he's gone, you take the head of the snake, you destabilize the company, you reduce the effectiveness of the software the company is providing, and you leave these other military groups open to be exploited by Nighthaven or another mysterious assailant that we don't know about yet. So, short but sweet one. I was initially going to be putting out a massive video with a whole bunch of theories, but I decided it makes more sense to just cut them up into little ones because they weren't really necessarily directly related, and a lot of them actually kind of contradict with each other. So I feel like this is the best way to do it. So let me know what you think, guys. Those are my thoughts anyway. I am now off for 2 weeks, so expect more videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Subscribe, my G's. It means a lot. Do pobacenia, everybody. Bye bye.